So on the question, it asks us to prepare an analysis account of the milk and cattle according to the analysis presented on the 31st of December 2023. So I want you to get the understanding. When it comes to farm's account, the receipt and payment account may give analysis of all the enterprises in the farm. Of course, from the question we saw that there is a section for sheep, there's a section for cattle, and there's a section for milk. So all these are different sections operating in the same farm. So when it comes to the receipts and the payment account, it is possible for you to combine all the analysis together in a 4-column rule account document. But when they ask you to prepare an analysis account of a particular section of that farm, it means they want you to bring out just data concerning that farm, that particular enterprise. As it's asked, they said you should prepare just for milk and cattle. It means we are not going to involve anything concerning sheep as we did in the receipt and the payment account. So what do we do? Preparation of an analysis account of a particular enterprise is to carefully bring out the incomes and the expenditure of the mentioned enterprise in the farm. So whenever you hear that, it means they want you to bring out the incomes, the expenditure of that farm to know what's the contribution of that enterprise to the general farm. Because at the end of the year, they're going to bring contributions from the cattle and milk, contribution from sheep, and all activities in the farm and combine them together to make up the balance sheet. So what do we do here? We create an income and expenditure account just for milk and cattle to see their contribution. So what do we do? They said milk sales for that year was just 4,800. Cattle sales was 46,000. Of course, cattle is the main product, or is the main animal. So it produces milk. The milk is not supposed to be more than the cattle itself. Then they said milk used by family. Now, of course, we call this drawings. When the family member or the owner of the business makes part of the use of the resources of the business. So when we include it together, it means the income for that year for that enterprise for the milk and cattle is 51,050. Then we come to the cost of sales of the product or of the enterprise. When it comes to the cost of sale, we must look at the opening stock of cattle, we must look at the purchase of cattle, and we must look at the closing stock. So the opening stock plus the purchase, then we minus the closing stock to give us the cost of sales of cattle, which is what we have done. So opening stock means the closing stock of last year. The closing stock of 2022, December, served as an opening stock for January 2023, and now we are looking at December 2023. So the opening stock was 12,300, the purchase of cattle was 15,000, then the closing stock is 11,400. What do? We take the opening stock plus the purchase and minus from the closing stock to give us the net cost of sales. So the net cost of sales is 15,900. What do? We minus it from the total income. The total income is 51,000. So what we do with it means we are left with gross profit of 31,150. But there are other expenditures done by this enterprise because they need to pay workers, they need to repair machine for milk, they need to do other things. So we have to consider them. What do? We put expenditures. Daily wages, it means wages to workers who participate in the milk production. So the daily wages is 8,900. Then the feed for cattle, of course, this must be in the expenditure because the cattle must eat. Then that year, they bought feed for cattle for 5,900. Then the repairs for the milk machine, of course, it was a time, maybe in June, maybe in July within the year, that they had to repair the machines for the milk. They spent 3,000. Then the general expenditure for the general farm, according to the question, says must be allocated equally. And for the general farm, we have sheep and cattle, so it's going to be 50-50%. So the part of expenditure for cattle is 12,250. When we put this together, it gives us 30,050. What do? We minus it from the gross profit. The gross profit is 35,000. So when you minus it, you have net profit to be 5,100. So it means 5,100 is the contribution of the milk and sheep enterprise, or the cattle and milk enterprise for the farm for that year. So this is the answer.